Does it matter what Reform UK say they want at this election? Even Farage admits the party has no chance of winning and they're unlikely to get many MPs. But according to Nigel Farage, the party is playing a longer game.
So if there were to be an election then in 2029, the next election after this one, you would be the head of that. Would that mean that you would be vying at that election to be Prime Minister?
Yes, absolutely. I think the disconnect between the Labour and Conservative Westminster-based parties and the country, the thoughts, hopes and aspirations of ordinary people are so far apart from where our politics is. And the funny thing is they show no signs of changing. I mean, I was in those 7-way debates, one on the BBC, one on ITV, and the more that Angela Rayner argued with Penny Mordaunt, the more they sounded the same. There are no real fundamental differences between these two parties.
Can I just pick you up?
We are aiming to be a big party.
I mean, he did have a reasonable point in that debate. Whenever you did hear Angela Rayner and Penny Mordaunt, they would always sound the same, because Penny Mordaunt would be saying, you're going to do this, that. And Angela Rayner would say, no, we're not. She's saying, we're not going to increase taxes. We're not going to increase spendings. And she's sort of trying to say they will. And they're saying, no, we won't, which makes you think, well, then why vote for you? Farage, as you heard, there was very critical of both Labour and the Tories. But speaking to Sky today, he refused to rule out joining the latter.
You are ruling out joining the Conservative Party, even if you're an MP in the next Parliament, at any point. I just want a categorical statement to that fact.
That is absolutely not on my agenda. And I can't rule out being dead within 5 years. That's a ridiculous question. You and I both know that's a moronic question to ask.
All I want to say is that people can see from space that right now you are not ruling out becoming a member of the Conservative Party in the next Parliament. I will not become a member of them. I have no intention of being in the Conservative Party at any point. No intention is just less specific. I'm sorry to be boring about this.
Do you really think your viewers are interested in this?
Yes.
Do you really?
I think people are interested in the future of politics in this country.
Right, it needs to be the centre-right needs to be reshaped. They've destroyed it. They've taken the party to the centre ground. They're split and divided. That's why we're here.
And the Conservatives are going to invite you in after the next election. Some of them are. But the party
but they're
is
the minority. They're the minority. They're the small minority. If you think about the Conservative Party, the voices that you talk about, the Suellas, Bravermans, the Robert Jenricks, are a small minority.
OK, I think we can hear that you're not ruling out membership of the Conservative Party.
I might be dead.
OK, but that's not
a
very clever answer, but it's not the answer. It's not a categorical answer to what we're...
I mean, honestly, this is so in the weeds, isn't it, really?
I wouldn't be asking it if I didn't think it was a relevant question in 17 days' time when the election has taken...
Well, all right, fair enough. It's not relevant to me.
It's not relevant to me. I mean, it's definitely something he's been thinking about. Ash, do you believe that Nigel Farage it's not relevant to him? He hasn't even crossed his mind that he might join the Conservatives after the election. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I mean, who's to say? He doesn't know if he's going to be dead tomorrow. What did you make of that exchange?
Well, look, again, it's about looking clearly at Nigel Farage and considering what his strengths are. One of his strengths is that he's got no particular sense of loyalty to the political party form or parliamentary democracy, right? And so that's allowed him to use vehicles like UKIP and the Brexit Party basically as ways to shape the politics of another party, right? That's what he did. It wasn't about UKIP being able to form a government. It wasn't about the Brexit Party getting MPs. It was basically about, okay, how do I use this particular vehicle to achieve my particular aims? Now, when it comes to Reform, I think that they're doing something different. It does seem to me that Reform want to win in Clacton. And also when you look at where they're focusing their campaigning, so Clacton, of course, but you've also got Barnsley, which is a Labour-held seat, launching their contract in Merthyr Tydfil, which, as we know, has been massively impacted by deindustrialisation, but it's also home to an asylum hotel. So he's picking these places very, very carefully. It does seem to me that Farage wants a seat in Parliament. Now, what's he going to do with it? Is he going to represent the best interests of Reform Party and Reform Party members? Hell no. That's never been within Nigel Farage's MO. Reform Party has basically been set up more like a company, more like a corporate structure, which allows the executive suite at the top an awful lot of autonomy and very little in the way of democracy or input for its party members. You don't really sign up to be a Reform Party member the way that you might, a Green Party member or the Labour Party or, even a Conservative Party member. You sign up because you're a fan. That's what it's about. It's about, lending your name and your voice and your presence to bolster up the impact and the power of someone else who basically decides what they're going to do. It's an endorsement of Nigel Farage personally. So once he gets into Parliament, if he gets into Parliament, I should say, he's absolutely going to consider what's the most advantageous thing to do. Is it to be effectively an independent voice within Parliament? Is it to try and, mount a sort of right-wing headbanger coup within the Conservative Party? He's going to leave himself maximum wriggle room to do that. I think that's also why it took a little bit of time for him to swing into action and take over leadership of the Reform Party and decide that he wanted to stand. It's all about wriggle room. So he's not going to rule anything out. That's simply not his style.
He's keeping his options open. We want to make sure we're as large as possible whenever he does that to stop him controlling British politics. This channel is purely or nearly entirely funded by our viewers. If you are already a regular donor, thank you so much. If not, go to novaramedia.com/support. You can donate whatever you can afford. The link is in the description. We really do appreciate it.